Shazza! Oh, I cannot block her. Okay guys, good morning. Here's what's going on. Now, none of this is intentional. There's a beautiful little hedge shrub behind me. Scores of baby ones. They're called privet bushes. Privet, P-R-I-V-E-T. They are not indigenous to North America, where I am. They are indigenous to Asia, particularly India. A lot of folks, I guess technically they are an invasive species. A lot of people say get rid of them, get rid of them. They're beautiful, and I guess in a big way, we are an invasive species. Fortunately, nobody's decided to get rid of us, even though it seems as if we're constantly trying to figure out ways to get rid of ourselves, cognitive or not. But I regress, I degress, I suppress, I do all these things. I'm gonna have to block her for a minute because I want you to pay attention to this entire area. Ugh. There we go, that's why I'm recording. This video may or may not end up being uploaded. It's particularly, partially, potentially for personal observation uses only. For those of you who follow the channel, should you be seeing this, should this video be uploaded, you know that this is the potential sacred burial ground of our potential Bigfoot Sasquatch clan that potentially roams our potential Bigfoot Sasquatch territory here. Now, about a month or so ago, I made a video where I was down here putting guards around some apple trees in one of our orchards. And by the way, we spent the last several days planting another orchard. We'll show you the final product, I'm sure, here in a bit. We've got about 40 fruit trees in our lower pasture. It's turned out quite nice, but I felt as if something was peeking out at me, so I showed you guys this area, told you what it was, and asked the question, should I clear it out? Should I clean it up some? And it was 50-50. It's been 50-50. Some are like, yes, clear it out, it'll show respect. Others have said, no, don't touch it, this won't end well. I don't know what to think. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Phoebe and how I ended up reacquiring her. Most of you know, you saw it. I didn't stop recording the video before I reacquired Miss Cates, who I guess is technically Mrs. Klein since she married that other Kevin guy. That's my chickens over there. They're laughing at me. They think it's funny. There's nothing funny about that. I was born 10 years too soon, among other various shortcomings. So anyway, get my 6. Yes, Miss Cates, Mrs. Klein, has my 6, but I need you to get my 6 also. Okay, my beautiful bride, Dearly, aka Giggly Girl, is getting her beauty sleep. It's still relatively early right now, at least early for her. She loves to sleep in. And as you can tell, for those of you who have seen her in other videos, her beauty sleep is quite effective. So I let her get as much of it as she wants. So here's the story. I did not intentionally come up here to clear or beautify the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch burial grounds or sacred ground. And guys, if I can give you a view of better angles, we have back here, we have crosses, X marks. Several of the crosses looked like at one point they're made out of all natural materials, trees. It looks as if at one point they were standing erect, but they've fallen with time and vines and undergrowth. Let's see if we can get you a better view. Back here where Miss Cates, Mrs. Klein, is, she's resting on a box right on one of the X's. Now, There's just all kinds of stuff back in there if you can see it. So I came up here yesterday to get some of this privet. Here's a tall one. I've transferred quite a bit of this here in the last couple of months. Was that there a minute ago? Oh. Do you see anything, Mrs. Klein? You know, a lot of folks have said, whatever happened to her? I Googled that to find out. No, I'm not like obsessed. And my beautiful bride, dearly, aka Giggly Girl, was with me while we Googled it because she asked me too, whatever happened to her. Very interesting story. My respect for Mrs. Klein went up even more. I guess after she got married to Kevin Klein, they had a couple of kids. She decided she wanted to stay at home and be a mother, a very active mother, and she kind of dropped out of acting. Did a couple more small roles for friends of hers in the industry, but basically spent the rest of her life up until now focusing on her children who are now grown. I think she has a boy and a girl. And interestingly, she always wanted to have like an upscale boutique, and she has one, I think in Manhattan, somewhere in New York, and she actually is a proprietor. So if you want to buy those little tiny imported toys that cost like thousands of dollars, or I don't know, I'm kind of being melodramatic in my description, but you can do that, and she actually runs the store. So with all this said, I came up yesterday, I started gathering the small privet bushes, and this is when I experienced some things that made me curious and made me decide to come up here when the sun came up this morning, as you can see back here, and just kind of record myself yammering in the camera, as I often do, doing some sort of menial chore, as I often do, like getting the privet bushes, and seeing if I can capture any strange energies, which I believe I already have, from this area. And okay, so I went back to reacquire Mrs. Klein's poster after my beautiful bride and I gifted it to her, because I knew that, if it rained, it would get damaged, it would get ruined. And what good of a gift is a poster of the beautiful Phoebe Cates if it gets all soggy and wet? So, but I guess I forgot to stop recording that video before I reacquired the poster, and a lot of people pointed that out at the end of the video, and my wife saw that, so then she called me on it, especially after she found it hanging on the back of the door in my office. So anyway, I need it for the early morning videos in which my beautiful bride is still getting her beauty sleep. So the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch may be lured in by a beautiful woman. And no, I'm not using my beautiful bride as bait when I have her in the videos with me. That's not what that means. That would just be mean, and I would never do that. I was trying to use any means possible to attract him, her, it, or they. And I'm feeling the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and I believe I'm detecting movement back in this area. Let me see if I can get a couple privet bushes. You get my 6 while I'm doing it. case you're curious, these privet bushes are easy to transplant. I always try to capture the entire root ball like this, but if I don't, it's no big deal. As you see, there's not much to it. It's really more of just a crown, a root crown. These things are near impossible to kill, like most invasive species. They're not evergreens, but they keep their tiny little green leaves throughout most of the winter because they're the deer's last choice in diet. I guess they don't taste very good. The best time to move small bushes and trees is March, April, at least here in Zone 7, but the privets can be moved year-round, and I'll often move them year-round when I get a warm day and when I come outside. So there, you actually learned a little bit of something about homesteading, and they grow fast. You give them a prune in June and they'll grow faster the next year. They make you a quick hedge, a quick privacy hedge. Now, I'm not intentionally clearing the potential Bigfoot Sasquatch sacred burial ground. I'm merely collecting privet. But should I end up collecting quite a bit of privet over time, and maybe leaving some flowers out or potentially gifting here, and this, by the way, is close to the area where I found a cashew in the middle of my field for no reason the other day, which I'm kind of thinking, and as a lot of folks commented, may have been a gift to me. Maybe it'll be what it'll be. So what do you think, folks? Am I crossing a line here that shouldn't be crossed? Should I stay as far away from this area as possible? Okay, put your headphones in, go back and replay that part. I swear I heard a huff. I heard several of those yesterday, and that's kind of what I was waiting around to hear this morning. And I think I might have it, so I'm gonna wrap this up and go home in the house and put my headphones on and listen. Looks like I may be uploading this one. So, the beautiful Miss Cates, okay, Mrs. Klein, and myself bid you adieu until next time.